Hello everyone, I'm Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and money color commentator. On today's show, how to retire happy. I love that. Part 3 of our series on retirement tips for seniors with registered financial consultant and investment advisor representative, Ted Meyer. Welcome to the third segment, Ted.
Thank you, Steve.
Well, everybody, I've never met any senior yet or retiree yet that says, I want to retire miserable. Everybody wants to retire happy.
Yeah, I don't think there's too many of them out there.
Now, some of our shows, and we've had the famous guy, Tommy Hagen, on,
Yep.
He says it's not all about accumulation of assets anymore. It's about generating income. Now, just before we get into the happiness factor here, Ted, most people today, under the 4% rule, are not generating enough bond interest or stock dividend to make a 4% withdrawal.
No, they're not.
So let's get to that first. The withdrawal rate, we got to bring it down. What are you looking at right now? What do you tell your people when you're looking at numbers like this?
Well, it's funny. That's the withdrawal rate. I mean, we can all go out there and try and figure out what it is, but let the big guys, the Vanguards, the Fidelities, all tell us that these are. It used to be, when I first got in the business, it was 8%.
Oh.
We ran illustrations at 8. If you take 8, you'll be fine. Illustrations now are run at 4 and even in the 3 range. And I've even seen some as high as 2.9, or I should say as low as 2.9, 2.8. So, and that's just basically the rate of withdrawal that you can take out of your account, and you should be okay.
Now remember, let's quantify what Ted just said by okay. The goal is I'm taking 4% out of my portfolio without invading the principal.
Correct.
Everybody there? But is not occurring. The dividend performance of stocks and the interest coupons from our bonds are not generating 4%. So I have people that are routinely taking money out every month at 4%, but then at the end of the game they go, I thought we had a good market here. My portfolio is going down. Well, you don't have enough income generated off it.
Correct.
So that's a problem.
Well, I think that's the problem. But also, just to go back a second on this 4% or this 3% withdrawal rate, people go, why 3% or why 4%? It's not because we're just trying to limit what you take out today. Remember, retirement is a game of 25, 30, 35 years. If we retire at 65, the way our office looks at it, we have to plan income to the age of 100. A lot of these folks go, no, I'm just good till 85 or 86, and I'm not sure if you want me to show up at the 87th birthday and say, hey, our plan 86 worked out great. We're 87 now, and we're broke. And so this withdrawal rate is a protection for the client to basically say, if I'm going to retire at 62, 65, 67, I've got a plan. Our firm plans up to age 100. Therefore, that's going to significantly reduce the amount of money you take out. But let's put it this way. If retirement is only 3 or 4 years, then these things don't matter. But for those that are planning on a long, happy retirement, that's the subject, we want to look at a withdrawal rate that makes sense. And so this withdrawal rate that's out there of 3.5% or 4%, that's where we got to be.
Keep in mind, the Wall Street Journal pushed out a source quoting actuarial science at the basis of that the average male, this is the average, not the number one, just the average in America, the average male timeline is at 86.6 years. Females are at 88.8, and they say that the survivor of a marriage, generally mom, 87% of the time, 93. Now, that's the average. That means half of America is going to live the single person after their husband beyond that.
Yeah.
So when we talk about age 100, this isn't some out there. We're watching Star Trek. Everybody lives over 100.
Right.
This is really
real
true.
Numbers, right.
Now, you brought up this issue about income. Okay.
Yep.
I know I have obligations in retirement. I've looked at I have my budget. I've been using a budget for 30-something years. I also have my retirement budget. I have obligations, essentials.
Yep.
I can't get around it, can't get by it. Those have to be paid.
Yep.
I might also have what I call discretionary. Certain things. I like to go on vacation. I like to go see my grandkids. I want to do these things. So those things are for sure. I can't have unpredictable income coming from the stock market or the bond paying my essential and discretionary income because it wavers. And all you have to do is go through. If you were a retiree in 2008, you saw this in spades. All of a sudden you said, oh my gosh, I can't pick this up. My portfolio is getting crushed because I have bills to pay still.
Right.
Talk about this issue. Why is this so important?
Yeah, market's going down by 20, 30, 40% in 2008, but that doesn't stop your expenses. You still want to take those trips. You still have what you call the mandatory expenses. I still have a mortgage. I still have health insurance. I still got to pay utilities. I still got a car payment. I got to pay insurance. I got all of these things. Just because the market went down didn't mean I got a holiday from that stuff. So when we have that going out there, what we try and do with all of our clients is take care of the mandatory expenses in retirement with guaranteed income. You already have guaranteed income if you're fortunate enough to have a pension. you already have guaranteed income coming in the form of Social Security. So those are 2 guaranteed checks. Just so everyone knows, your RMD from your IRA is not a guaranteed income. That can run away one day. And back to this pot of money, if I've got $500,000, $700,000, $1 million, that is not guaranteed either. That money can be lost or swindled or stolen or given away or whatever. So what we try and get folks to understand is take care of your required monthly expenses. Figure out what that is. If it's $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month, there's no reason you shouldn't set that up with guaranteed monthly income. After all, math and science, all the articles I've read out there tell me the happiest people in retirement are the people that have guaranteed income coming in. You look at teachers, you look at federal employees, state employees, they have a guaranteed check to cover all that stuff. So take care of your mandatory expenses in retirement with guaranteed lifetime income.
Now, I noticed it in one of your lines. I have Social Security this year in 2017, they're projecting the COLA, the cost of living adjustment for 2018. It's going to go up 0.2. And I go, wow, okay, 20. I mean, I can go to Starbucks for an extra coffee. I guess I don't.
Maybe.
The government is still lacking in matching up true costs of living. I got to pay gasoline, food, utility bills, which you don't put in the cost of living adjustment for seniors.
I don't think healthcare's in there either.
No, it's ridiculous. Yeah. That's why I said, and I understand why they're doing it, because if they ever actually market the actual inflation rate back to the debt, we'd blow the budget through the hole in it. All right, I get that. All right, now, but Social Security doesn't guarantee them. Now, we've had the last 8 years, 3 of those years we didn't pay anything.
Yeah, got a
no
zero
adjustment.
Increase.
And I think the top out rate was like 1. So we're not really we can't really depend on Social Security to deliver that.
We've actually looked at the last 20 years, it's averaged 1.8.
It's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
All right, now, so if I'm going to buy a block of guaranteed income, I cannot live. Doesn't matter my wife or I, however long we live. Even if we become the Guinness Book of World Records, Jean Clement at 122 years, 164 days. Think about that. That payment, she'd have got that payment. Old Susanna just died.
Every month.
And she died at 116. She'd have got that payment.
Every month.
All right, now, cost of living, though. So cost of living adjustment. I know you're a big proponent of this.
Big proponent of it.
I like a little annual, even if I didn't have to worry about inflation, I don't want to raise. I just want to raise.
3% raise.
Why not?
Who doesn't want a 3% raise? It'd be nice. Most pensions don't give that. Social Security is giving us 1.8.
Certainly not guaranteed.
Not certainly not guaranteed. And then Social Security is giving us 1.8 on average. So if we can find guaranteed income, that's going to give us a COLA adjustment of, say, 2-3% every single year. What's not to like?
Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. You could combo between Social Security and a guaranteed income, using an annuity as an example. I should be able to take care of my guaranteed essential costs of living. Right. The things I have to, they're non-negotiable, they're essential. Yep. And my discretionary, hey, I want to go see my kids, grandkids, and I want to go on vacation and so forth. I should be able to pay, those 2 areas where I got guaranteed Social Security and get. And I want to have on my annuity the cost of living. Now, adjustment. Health insurance. Now, when I get into this, it's long-term care. Now, I and my wife, we have a full long-term care policy. Not everybody can pass the physical, though, for it. Some people are coming. Some people are just hearing about this now, and it's too late. The costs are so high.
Correct.
So talk a little bit about that, because you got to be happy. And one of those issues is, hey, am I going to be happy in my late 80s, early 90s?
Right.
What's my lifestyle going to be like?
That's exactly right. There's about 6 or 7 steps in this to be happy in retirement. One of them is consider long-term care and to think about it. And there's 2 ways you can really approach this. One way is to go out and buy a long-term care policy. I just had a couple in my office the other day. She's 57, he's 65, and they're spending $6,000 a month. I'm sorry, $6,000 a year on a long-term care policy. Her mother just passed away at 94. And so when I asked them, when are you going to use this long-term care policy? She's thinking late 80s. So we did the math on how much money she's going to spend. Sometimes a policy is right. Sometimes a policy might be the worst thing you can do. So we sit down with our clients and we develop a plan. What's going to happen if I need long-term care? Where can I get the funds to do it? Do I have discretionary income? Do I have savings accounts I can use? Or the big one is, do I have a house? Here in Arizona, that's a big piece right there. This isn't Pennsylvania. This isn't the Midwest, the Northeast, where homes are passed down as legacies. Typically, the kids are going to get the house here and sell it. They don't want your house. They want the cash from it. So I go with our clients and I say, let's take a look at it. If we could have $300,000 or $400,000 asset out here that we could use and draw income from it, if we ever entered long-term care, now we're talking about a plan. Now we're talking about ideas on how to pay for things down the road without having to pay the bill now, especially on something like long-term care. Simply because, and again, I'm not an advocate for or against them. We actually sell them if the time is right. But the reality is most folks can either self-fund it or they can do other plans. Because on a long-term care policy, just like your automobile insurance, if you don't use it, you lose it.
True.
And so you're not going to go out there and just smash up your car so you can use your automobile insurance.
There's the thought of my teenage life just floating across my mind. Keep in mind, by the way, a little side note, if you are paying, like my wife and I, we're paying long-term care. We're both in our we're seniors already. Think about it, that's all tax-deductible contribution there. So if you're writing a check, you're getting that off. And remember, if you're doing your taxes by yourself, I cannot tell you how many clients I've run across that you didn't take the deduction. I can't believe we didn't pick that up. Listen, don't forget to watch our next segment on Income for Life, part 4 in our series on retirement tips for seniors. And keep in mind, before moving forward with any of the ideas on our show, always check with your tax consultant, legal counsel, or financial advisor. You've been watching Steve Savant's Money, the name of the game.